Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the next essay, The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. You may have heard about this man, Oscar Wilde, who is very famous dramatist. He was born in 1854 and died 1900. He was an Irish. He was not only dramatist but also poet, also a short story writer. So he learned at Trinity College, Dublin, the capital city of Ireland. He's written many plays, very famous. Lady Windermere's Fan, A Woman of No Importance, An Ideal Husband, The Importance of Being Earnest. So these are very famous plays. Then he went to Europe, and his stories are especially marked as of wit and paradox, you find. The Selfish Giant we are going to talk about, it appeared in The Happy Prince and the Other Tales. You may have known the story, The Happy Prince. So it is also famous. In the same book, The Selfish Giant, you find it is written in or published in 1888. It is one of the most anthologized pieces and is known for its moral and spiritual significance. Selfish Giant, if you look at the title, the giant is selfish. Giant means monster. तर जायंट म्हणजे राक्षस. तो कसा आहे? सेल्फिश. ही इज व्हेरी सेल्फिश. So what happens if one is selfish? That is told in the story. The selfish giant actually is the owner of a beautiful garden, and children love to play in that garden after the school. But one day, suddenly as it happened that everything changes and they couldn't get chance to play because of selfish giant. So what happens to the boys? What happens to the giant? That is told in the story, and it gives a beautiful message also at the end. So I begin the story. Every afternoon, as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. It was lovely, large, with soft green grass. Here and then over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees as well, that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl. The birds sat on trees as if it was beautiful, sweetest music children could listen while playing. Oh, how happy we are! They cried to each other. The children were very happy. They फार आनंदी होते. One day, the giant who went for 7 years, he came back. He had been to visit his friend, the Cornish ogre, for 7 years. After 7 years, he got entry. तर 7 वर्षानंतर जो राक्षस आहे, स्वार्थी राक्षस, तो आता परत आलेला आहे. He came to his own kingdom. He had said all that he had to say, for his conversation was limited, and he determined to return his own castle now. When he arrived, he saw the children who were playing in his garden. What are you doing here? He cried in a very gruff voice, serious tone, and the children ran away. My own garden is my own garden. Anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play here but myself. So he built a big wall, a high wall, all round the garden. तर मुलांनी खेळण्यासाठी येऊ नये म्हणून एक मोठीशी भिंत बांधली. and put up a notice board. What was on the notice board? See, trespassers will be prosecuted. So he has put on the notice board, trespassers will be prosecuted. So this shows the giant was very selfish. He was a very selfish giant. The poor children had now nowhere to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and traffic was there. They used to wander round the high wall when their lessons were over. After the school, they could see the garden, but they could not enter. They talked about the beautiful garden. How happy we were there. आपण पूर्वी किती आनंदी होतो. Then the spring came. वसंत ऋतू आलेला आहे. And all over the country there were little blossoms, little birds. सगळीकडे बहर आलेला आहे, पक्षी आलेले आहेत. Only in the garden of selfish giant it was still winter. पण giantच्या बागेमध्ये अजून काही फरक नाही पडलेला, तिथं अजून विंटरच आहे. The birds did not care to sing in it as there were no children and the trees forgot to blossom. Once a beautiful flower put its head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry for the children that it slipped back into the ground again and went off to sleep. Notice board तर आहे. Trespassers will be prosecuted. जे कोणी आत येईल त्यांना शिक्षा दंडित करण्यात येईल असं टाकलेलं आहे. But there is no change you find in the garden. Birds are not there, they are not singing, no children, trees are not blossoming. तर काहीच जायंटच्या बागेमध्ये काहीच फरक नाही झाला. ऋतू जरी बदलला तरी इकडे अजून उन्हाळाच आहे. थोड्या वेळासाठी एक जो फूल होतं, एक जे फूल होतं थोडंसं डोकं वर काढलं होतं. One flower put its head out from the grass. But when he looked at the notice, ज्यावेळेस त्याने नोटीस बघितली, trespassers will be prosecuted. Then he suddenly went off to sleep. तो लगेच झोपी गेला. The only people who were pleased were the snow and the frost. तर आनंदी लोक कोण होते बागेमध्ये? It was snow, बर्फ and frost, वादळ. Spring has forgotten this garden. तर या गार्डन मध्ये स्प्रिंग आलाच नाही, तो विसरून गेला. So we will live here all the year round. So they were happy. Who? Snow and frost. त्यांना वाटलं की आता मजा आहे, स्प्रिंग नाही आला इथं. The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver. Then they invited the north wind to stay with them, and he came. He was wrapped in furs, and he rode all day about the garden. And he blew the chimney pots down. This is a delightful spot. We must ask the hell on a visit. So the hell came. आणि जोरात बर्फवृष्टी सुरू झाली, तीव्र वृष्टी, गारा सुरू झाली. Every day for 3 hours he rattled on the roof of the castle till he broke most of the slates. इतकं जोरात गारा होऊ लागली की स्लेटचे जे पत्रे आहेत ते सुद्धा फुटून गेले. And then he ran round and round the garden as fast as he could go. He was dressed in grey and his breath was like ice. So hell enjoyed. जे गारा होत्या त्यांना एन्जॉय झाला फिरण्यामध्ये. So they were running here and there. तर या ठिकाणी स्नो असेल, फ्रॉस्ट असेल, हेल असेल, दे हॅव बीन पर्सोनिफाईड. त्यांना माणसाच्या क्वालिटी दिल्या आहेत. ऍक्च्युली दे आर नॅचरल थिंग्स. आय कॅनॉट अंडरस्टँड व्हाय द स्प्रिंग इज सो लेट इन कमिंग. Who said? Selfish giant. The selfish giant स्वतःशीच म्हणते की अरे मला का समजत नाही की आपल्याकडे अजून स्प्रिंग का नाही आला. Said the selfish giant as he sat at the window and looked out at his cold white garden. I hope there will be a change in the weather. He thought that there will be change, but the spring never came. पण गार्डन मध्ये कधीही स्प्रिंग आला नाही. Nor the summer. The autumn gave golden fruit to every garden. बाकीच्या सगळ्या गार्डन मध्ये फ्रूट आले, फळ आले, but to the giant garden she gave none. पण राक्षसाच्या बागेमध्ये काहीही आलं नाही. He is too selfish. she said. So it was always winter there, and the north wind, and the hail, and the frost, and the snow danced about through the trees. One morning, the giant was lying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. So one day he got very lovely music. He thought, what is that? It sounded so sweet to his ears that he thought it must be the king's musicians passing by. It was really only a little linnet singing outside